So in our today's lecture, we will be discussing about reproductive health, which is the fourth chapter of class 12 biology. This is a very important chapter because in this chapter you have a lot of terms that you need to remember while giving the exam. Also, this is a very informative chapter. It is not just a mere small chapter which you need to focus on regarding the exam, but it is a very informative chapter both in the perspective of your boards exam as well as for in case of the competitive exams that you are going to give. So, what is this reproductive health? Reproductive health refers to the total well being in all matters relating to the reproductive system and its function and processes. So, what is reproductive health? Reproductive health means it is the total well being. So, what is the meaning of the term total well being? So, total well being means a person is physically, a person is physically physically, emotionally, emotionally, sorry, socially, socially, and reproductively, reproductively fit. So in that condition, we call them that it is the total well-being of the person. That means the person is totally fit. So what does this reproductive health means? It means not only the health of the reproductive system. It is the total reproductive well-being means it is the total well-being of an organism. That means he or she is physically fit, he or she is emotionally stable, socially acceptable, whatever the person is doing, and reproductively they are active. That means they can produce the next generation. It implies that people are able to have a satisfying and safe sexual life, and they have the capability to reproduce and freedom to decide if, when, and how often they want to reproduce. So, it is basically a process, it is basically a health of an organism by which it defines that they are having a satisfying and safe sexual life. They are not transpassing any kind of disease, or they are not having any kind of disease, and moreover they can reproduce of their freedom will, and they have the power to decide that when they want to reproduce, when they want to continue to the next generation, how often they will reproduce to produce a new generation. So these things are totally referred to as reproductive health. So in this chapter you will discuss about the different aspects of this reproductive health. Now the question comes, what is the need and importance? It helps in maintaining the overall well-being of an individual in the society. So it is very important. It is very important to maintain the overall well-being of an individual in the society so as to maintain the human race on the surface of earth. Not only that, if a person is physically, emotionally, socially, reproductively correct or is healthy, then the person can contribute to the society with some good deeds also. It ensures safe and healthy reproductive life. It helps in preventing reproductive tract infections and sexually transmitted infections. If you have the idea of reproductive health, if we have the idea of reproductive health as a normal citizen, we'll know that what is reproductive tract infection, what is sexually transmitted disease, and what we have to do as a senior, as a citizen, as a responsible citizen of this country in order to avoid these things. It also helps us to understand unwanted pregnancies, maternal mortality, and morbidity. So, this reproductive health teaches us that how to avoid any unwanted pregnancy, how to reduce the maternal mortality, and also the mortality of the young ones that are being produced. It helps in checking the population explosion. It also helps to reduce the population explosion and promotes socio-economic development. It also promotes gender equality and it creates awareness about the reproductive rights and responsibilities. So this is the importance of this chapter. It has a very important impact in the society, and it is quite meaningful to learn this chapter at a very early age when you as a student are just about to cross your puberty, or maybe you are crossing your puberty. This is the exact time when you need to study about all these things so that you stay away from any kind of misconceptions or misunderstandings. What are the objectives of this whole chapter? It provides awareness and information about the reproductive health and its related problems. It tells us about the reproductive health, what is this reproductive health, and what problems might occur if you don't maintain the reproductive hygiene or reproductive health. It promotes a healthy reproductive life and a very responsible behavior. It prevents and controls reproductive tract infection. It is one of the most uh, evident type of infections that occurs in current 21st century worlds, that majority of the population are having reproductive tract infection or sexually transmitted infections. So how to control and prevent it? It reduces unwanted pregnancies and promotes something called family planning. I guess you have seen some examples where our grandparents only, like my grandparents, had 7, 8 child in their family. And nowadays, if you see in your surrounding, you will see that maybe a family is not having a single child even because of some problems. So there should be a process in which a family should be planned. It should not be like एक अपने पास थ्योरी है, एक अपने पास मतलब प्रोजेक्ट है इंडियन गवर्नमेंट का ही, दैट इज हम दो हमारे दो. दैट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड वेरी फेमस प्रोजेक्ट, दैट इज हम दो हमारे दो हमारे दो. So it is basically nothing but it is a project that tells us the importance of family planning. Okay, so this chapter deals with that thing also, that how to plan a family and all. It ensures safe motherhood and a healthy child. It provides facility for diagnosis, treatment, and counseling related to reproductive health. This is a very misunderstood topic. People doesn't want to talk about the diagnosis of the reproductive tracts or treatment of the reproductive tract, or maybe they need some kind of counseling regarding it. They don't speak about it because it is seemed that speaking about such things is it's not good. But we have to remove this taboo from the society. We have to understand it, and then obviously if a person is facing some kind of problem, it can be a physical problem, right? It can be a physical problem, it can be an emotional problem, or a social or a reproductive tract problem. We can discuss about it and we can make sure that the person becomes reproductively healthy in order to make sure that he is living a perfect life on the surface of earth. Now, before we move deep into this whole subject of understanding this reproductive health, few things that we need to understand, and among them, the first thing is this population explosion. So, what is this population explosion? Population explosion refers to the rapid increase in the number of individuals in a population in a given area. So, you have an area. In that area, the number of individuals in a population that are present, for let us suppose 1000, and in every 1 year how many new individuals are adding up with that 1000 is referred to as what? Population increase. Now you can say population growth. So if I write it like this, population growth is equals to number of new individuals upon thousand per year. In the year 2000 census, it was observed to be 1.7. In 2011, it became 2%. That means in 2000, in the year 2000, there used to be 70 new individuals per 1000 per year, which increased to near about 20 individuals per 1000 per year. So that is called population explosion. If this increase is very rapid, then that process is called what? It is called population explosion. What are the causes? High birth rate due to early marriage and lack of awareness. Not now, but few years back, in different regions of northern India, specifically in the regions of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, there was a huge craze of going in for an early marriage. So going for an early marriage, lack of awareness led to what? It led to having a family of more than like 7 to 8 children in it. So high birth rate, population explosion, low death rate. Currently, the medical facilities that we have, they are very much advanced. We have a better healthcare and we have a better sanitation that leads to lower amount of death rates. The amount of death in current time is very low, and that is why the population is constantly increasing. Illiteracy is one of the very important factors behind the population explosion. Lack of awareness about family planning methods. Obviously, I've told you that family planning methods is a very new concept. It's there for years. Like it started in the year 1952. Indian government started in the year 1952, but no one was there for talking about this one, and that is why there was a lack of awareness. There was illiteracy in India. The literacy rate was very high in certain parts of India, and that led to the population explosion. Poverty, it is another very very concerned part of India, that India's majority portion lies under poverty, and their desire for more children, especially son, is one of the cause behind the population explosion. Like there are some examples from Bihar itself, that in those small villages they urge for a child which will be a son. So maybe for the first time, when a couple is getting pregnant, in that particular point of time they are having a girl child. Second time they are also having a girl child. The third time they are also having a girl child. But again and again they are trying to get a son in their family, and that is why the number of people are increasing. There is a population explosion. Lack of availability and accessibility to contraceptive method. Though Indian government has started giving this awareness about contraceptive methods, giving free contraceptive devices to the family which they actually need it, but earlier it was not available, it was not accessible, and that is why that was a major concern behind the population explosion. Social and cultural belief of favoring large families. There are some social and cultural and religion beliefs that favor that having huge number of child in the family is a good omen, and that thing led to all these things comes from basically illiteracy, right? So if the person is illiterate, you cannot make them understand, but if you are making them literate by teaching these kind of subjects in the school, you can make a person literate regarding these subjects, and you can make the new generations much more concerned. What are the consequences of this population explosion? Strain on the natural resources. Natural resources are limited, like food, like water, like shelter, like energy. These things are limited. So if a huge population, let us suppose there is a place for 10 persons in the society, and for in that 10 persons place, currently 100 people are fighting for that 10 places. So obviously there will be some stress on the natural resource. Unemployment, we can see unemployment in India at a very high rate, or underemployment in India at a very high rate. What are the reason behind it? This population explosion. Less population, less number of people in the society, they will be highly paid, they will be, the employment rate will be high. But if you think that why the Indian government is not having so much of employment in the country, the reason is very simple. The population of the country is so huge. Even if you give job to near about 1 lakh people in a particular place, still there will be a huge population in the society which will be unemployed. Okay, so this reproductive health chapter is very important to understand that what is the consequences of this population explosion. Poverty and poor standard of living. Obviously, if a person is underemployed or unemployed, it will lead to poverty or poor standard of living. It will increase the pollution and environmental degradation. It will result in overcrowding, in pressure on housing, education, and health services. Currently, you can see in Kolkata only and in different metro cities, high rises are being built up. Why? Because we have limited space, and for that limited space, I want to accommodate more population in it, and for that, I have to make 30-story or 40-story buildings. Another major concern is increasing of crime rate and social problems due to this population explosion. Due to this unemployment, underemployment things, the people who are suffering from poverty and having poor standard of living, they move into these crimes and social problems. Slow pace of economic development will also slow down because of this huge population that are poor, that are having poor standard of living, or they are lying under the poverty line and all these things. So what we can do regarding this population explosion? There is a program called family planning program. Family planning means adopting methods or using devices to control the number of children in a family. It was first launched in India in the year 1952, and it was the first country in the world to start the National Family Planning Program. You might be thinking, sir, it started in 1952, but still the population of India is so huge. Yes, because there was no course, there was no chapter which can discuss about all these things. These chapters are being recently introduced so as to make sure that the students becomes aware. The person who is crossing their puberty must be aware of these things. But initially it was seemed to be a taboo, and no one used to talk about all these things in their, even among their families and other places. What are the objectives of this family planning? To control population growth, to improve maternal and child health, to reduce infant and maternal mortality, to promote small family norms and responsible parenthood, to ensure that a better standard of living is obtained by every one of us. Initially in the year 1952, this program was called Family Planning Program, but nowadays it is called Reproductive Health and Child Care Health Management, or something like that. That is specifically RCH. So that program is being utilized, or that program is being followed nowadays, so as to make sure that the person is reproductively healthy. So what are the birth control methods overview? In this chapter, in this video, we will be discussing about the methods and overview a little bit, and then in the next upcoming videos we will discuss it in much more detail. Birth control methods are used to prevent pregnancy. The methods which help the individual or couples to plan the number of and spacing of the children is called birth control methods. A birth control method or an ideal contraceptive method should have these following characters. What are those? Number one, it should be highly effective. If we are using it, then it should control the birth. It should be safe. It should be easy to use. It should be reversible. Reversible means when we are using it, there is control. When we are not using it, there will be no problem in it. It should be affordable. It should be acceptable, and it should have minimal side effects. So these are the basic characteristics that a birth control or a contraceptive method should have. And in the upcoming class we will be discussing, or in the upcoming lectures we will be discussing about these methods in much more details. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. I will try to clarify it with my own time. And if you like this whole content, please drop a like. Thank you everyone.